G'day, Alex here. I've just wanted to make this video for some time to correct a lot of lies and untruths and misconceptions about A.J.Miller that have been spread on the internet as well as through media sources, through having known the man for the past 10 years. Okay, just get my eyes on, and I've just written some notes just to stay on track. Hope you don't mind. So basically, I've known the guy for 10 years. I met him in 2009, and I've just found him to be the most amazing person, honestly, in that past 10 years that I've ever known. He is seriously the most selfless, honest, loving, kind, caring, compassionate, truthful, upstanding, patient, considerate person I've ever met in my entire life. And to be honest, it's probably why I'm still kind of listening to him today and still on the path. Well, on the path, that's kind of arguable, but that's why I still listen to him today, because of who he is and you know, the things that are saying, basically the things that he's saying and what he keeps demonstrating, which is just pure love. Even when I haven't treated him well myself, he still loved me, and that's just quite an amazing thing, really. I mean, who does that, you know? Usually if you treat someone badly, they're going to hold on to that resentment for a long time and you know, remove you from their lives or whatever. And he has to an extent at some point, but he still loved me and I could still feel it. So that's just, you know, that's just something I just wanted to clear up straight away. I'll make a whole heap of other points about this. I feel like the people who have attacked his character and spread lies about him have never met him or known him. A lot of the clips that I've seen on YouTube, some of the claims are just ridiculous. They're just so out there. And I'm going to clear some of them up here. But some of the other people that have now kind of spending a lot of their time, you know, trying to discredit him on the internet, are also people that he's known and he's given, you know, personal feedback to, and basically they're just pissed off and angry with him, and now they want to destroy him and Divine Truth. So, you know, what I've sort of found with that is at times, yeah, you do get angry, and I've been angry at him at times, but a good sort of advice maybe that I can give is feel that anger, feel why it is you are angry at him, and you'll come to a place of understanding that the cause of your anger is something within yourself. See, I've had that a number of times with him, and I've realised, oh, it's just actually because, you know, there's been times that I've been angry at him and realised after going through some anger that because I actually want to be the one who's heard all the time. You know, I want to be the one on stage and talking about all these wonderful things, and I want to be the one that's heard and listened to. So when I've gone through that process, I've come to that realization and thought, oh, okay, that's, you know, that's the only reason why I'm angry at him. It's, you know, it's really my shit. It's my emotions. It's my stuff. It's not him. So I feel like if you can address why you're angry at him, that helps a lot. Okay, and you can continue on. If you don't, which a lot of people, I feel like, you know, when he gives them that personal feedback, they just get really angry and pissed off with him, and they leave and just hold that grudge against him. Some never return, and some go on to try and discredit, you know, Divine Truth, as I said before. So some of the things that have been said, I just want to get into that now. The first claim that people have made is that Divine Truth is a cult. Okay, now I looked up the definition of a cult, and it's basically a system of religious worship, especially one that is expressed in rituals, devotion to or admiration of a person rather than what he does. Now, that's funny because that's pretty much all religion on earth, isn't it? But I can honestly say, in the Divine Truth community, is there even a community? I don't know, because it's just people maybe living in the area, living out of the area, who just come together to listen to him talk. That's all it basically is. There's no worship, there's no ceremonies, there's no rituals, there's no communal prayer of any sort like that. He doesn't present himself, as a guru or one that knows all. In fact, he's always encouraging us to, pray to God and see God as the infinite source of all truth. So, he's quite a humble man. He doesn't place himself up, above anyone else. He says that he's a child of God just as all of us are. And that he kind of, I remember him saying, to see him as maybe a big brother who knows a little more. So I think that's quite a good definition. I quite like that. So I've known gurus, and I've been in circles of gurus and highly respected spiritual teachers who do put themselves up as the know-alls and are revered and worshipped. It's quite a damaging thing. So yeah, as I said, these are just people who come together to listen to him, to listen to Divine Truth teachings. There's no compound, there's no commune, there's no David Koresh style, friggin' property, with gates, and there's just AJ's property, which he lives on his own with Mary, in their little house. That's it. Yeah. So, people are free to come and go. There's no, Scientology style, you must leave your family and you must disown everyone and you're not allowed to leave, and brainwashing and abuse and all that kind of stuff that kind of goes along with it all. There's nothing like that. They're just people who come to seminars to listen to him speak, because it's awesome stuff to say. So that's that one. Another claim that people make is that he's breaking up relationships. Well, I don't know about you, but if you get two people in a relationship together and they both love to drink, right, and then one of them decides that they've had enough and they no longer want to drink, and they kind of want to enlighten themselves and search for better things, in life, then, and the other one decides that no, they do want to continue drinking, then there's going to be a natural split. And so that's basically, that's what happens with a lot of people who listen to Divine Truth, who decide, wow, this is an awesome thing and I want to follow this and, test this out for myself. And often their partners or their family may not agree with it. So then there is that natural progression of splitting up. So that's all I believe this is. Another claim that people make is that AJ has multiple sexual relationships with women. Well, this one I find quite laughable, because ever since I've known him, which is 10 years now, and he was previously married, but he's only been with Mary since then, the entire time that I've known him, which is 10 years. And I don't know how long before that they got together, 12, 13 maybe, I don't know. But he's completely devoted to her, and they are completely devoted to each other. And so this claim is quite ridiculous. I don't know where people even come up with this stuff. Another claim that people make is that he's brainwashing people who are easily led. Well, this one I kind of take personal offence at because I spent a decade previously involved with all sorts of spiritual circles, with yoga and meditation and Reiki and gurus and various religions and healing circles. So I kind of see myself as having, a very curious sort of mind where I've asked a lot of questions over teachers during that time, and it was never given satisfactory answers. So I just kept moving on. There were just things that just didn't feel right to me, or I felt just plain didn't work when put into practice. So I feel like anyone who's quite questioning and asks a lot of questions will very quickly, find out for themselves whether something feels right or it doesn't. So easily led, not by him, definitely. Once people receive some personal feedback from him about their lives that they're in denial of, they usually don't want to come back very quickly. So usually people who are easily led are people who have been fed a lot of lies about their addictions. They're being told that they're, by gurus or spiritual teachers that they're the special ones, and we're a special group and we're better than others. And, if you're with this guru or you're with this teacher, then you've got an advantage on other people. And, they're the things that people are normally fed, which feeds their egos and feeds their addiction and makes them easily led, But Jesus or AJ will only just keep telling you the truth. And often that's very confronting. So if anything, that's that's the opposite of being brainwashed or easily led. I also have always found the teachings to make logical sense to me. They're very basic and simple to understand and very logical. So I feel like it appeals to the intellect, to the mind, but it also appeals to the heart, which is why I've always felt, very drawn to it as well. So I find them very beautifully balanced teachings that I feel like do appeal to many people. Like I say, it's people do love the universal truths that he speaks of about God and universe and soulmates and how come this happens, how come that happens, how does this work, how does that work. It's when people receive personal truth about their lives that they come unstuck and become very confronted. Okay. Another claim that people make is that he's taking people's money and spending it on his own selfish desires. Well, this one again is quite laughable from what I've seen and what he has demonstrated. It's actually totally the opposite. Much of the money that he receives, he spends on projects to benefit everyone. And for instance, recently he was offered some money to build a new house for himself. But instead of that, he built a studio next to his little one-bedroom shack, which he's quite happy with, to be able to make and produce more videos to get divine truth out to the world. So, that's the kind of guy he is. Completely selfless. It's all about his theory and what he demonstrates is it's all about the great things are all about when they benefit everyone, not just one person. So, it's quite a ridiculous claim again. Also, his tax returns and expenses are all on the Divine Truth website, so he's completely transparent with his monetary dealings. Like, you can actually go on the website and see the donations, what he's earned, where it's gone to, and he's completely transparent with it. Like, who does that? Not me. Like, the United States president will not do that, what's he got to hide? But anyway, so again, if he's a con man or a swindler, as a lot of people have claimed, then I tell you what, he's not a very good one, because he's got nothing to show for it. As I say, he lives in a one-bedroom shack just down the road here, and he's completely happy. He's happy within. He doesn't need those things. So, ridiculous statement. Once again, just give me a sec. Just got to have a drink. Finally, there's a statement that people have made or claim is that he's a liar because he says he's Jesus. Okay? Now, I can only give you my experience here in regards to this, okay? There's been at times in my life where I can see spirits and energies in colour, like emotions actually have colour, and sometimes you're able to see it if you're sensitive enough. I don't know why. There's been at times in my life where I can see it and I can't. I feel it's to do maybe with fear, or I'm not sure. But there's been times where I can clearly see spirits, like I'm looking at a friend of mine standing next to me. So basically this has been an advantage at times, because I'll tell you why. For instance, when I was in Bali with a guru that we used to visit all the time, he was supposed to have been the reincarnation of Vishnu, okay? So we used to go to these elaborate Hindu ceremonies for 200-300 people with all these rituals and stuff, and people, high on spirit love and all sorts of business. And while he was talking one day, I actually saw 3 faceless blue spirits over his right shoulder, whispering in his ear, telling him what to tell people. Now, as soon as I had that experience, the game was up, because, if he was God, or, Vishnu reincarnated or incarnated, then why would God need guidance from spirits to tell him what to say to people? It's, so as soon as I saw that, I was out of there basically. But I've never seen anything like that with AJ in the 10 years that I've known him. In fact, the things that I've seen are once at a seminar, as he was talking, just saying all these truths and blah blah blah, I saw all this electric blue light all around him and coming out of him, which just kind of blew my mind. And later on I realized that was actually the color of Divine Truth. So that again, proves something to me about the man. So yeah. The other thing that I experienced with him is once in a seminar, he was just talking to people about something, and he can feel the audience, he can feel emotions in people. And as he was speaking, there was something that was triggered inside of me, some fear or something, and I remember just starting to shake visibly, and I kind of just froze up, and I was just sitting there shaking, and he could feel me. And as he was talking to the audience, he kind of looked at me, and he looked at me with the most amazing eyes of love that I've ever experienced in my life. And I remember just bursting out crying because I've never experienced like that. It was just an incredible experience. They were just the deepest eyes of love that I've ever experienced in my life. So yeah, that was quite an amazing experience with him as well. The other reason that I do believe he's Jesus is because he constantly demonstrates love over and over again. In 10 years, and initially I used to look at him and sort of wait for him to stuff up, and you try and catch him out, and is that a bit of a lie there, or is he practicing something or is he saying something that he doesn't actually preach himself, or is he a bit of a con, or what's going on? But I've never been able to trip him up in any way like that, I feel. He practices what he preaches, and he constantly demonstrates love, and he holds integrity to the highest level. There are people who have often offered him some help in some way. They've donated their time to Divine Truth, but if there is some issue of love, he will address that with the person, and he will say that they need to leave until they have changed around that, and then they can come back. So even if they're helping him, it doesn't matter to him. He will address that and hold love and truth as the highest thing to aspire to. And I've seen this over and over with the guy. There's just something that I just wanted to say in conclusion to this video, and maybe it's just a question, maybe it's challenging people. It's just a personal comment. If you read the Bible, it does talk about a time where we're reaching this time of political upheaval, environmental upheaval. You can see all the things that are happening, and it's just the world's just gone mad. Social upheavals, and that Jesus will be returning and coming again, just as many religions believe. What I personally believe is that the way in which a lot of religions believe that he will be coming back is flawed. Because they believe him to be coming back as this almighty saviour who will be, riding on a cloud, kind of demonstrating his power and saving the righteous and destroying the wicked and this kind of stuff. And my feeling about this is actually totally the opposite. My feeling is that he will come demonstrating love, truth, and humility, just as he did before in the first century, just as I feel he's doing now. So that's just my own opinion. So yeah. So just in conclusion, he's just an amazing guy. If there's anyone out there who is toying with the idea of listening to more of his teachings or more Divine Truth teachings, like, you can do far worse. I've found I want to make another video on my experiences with Divine Truth and on this path and being on this path. And I won't get into that now, but his teachings are just really simple and beautiful. And I've found them personally amazing, and they're quite life-changing if you put them into practice. But the man himself, I can't fault. He's just a beautiful person, and I wish everyone could see that, because it would really cause a lot of change in the world. So thanks for listening today. I'll see you again. Cheers. Bye.